Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hazel and Mia Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about burned out, but still performing, something that Hazel is going through right now. You've you have those difficult days,
Yeah.
and the things that are going around us does not make it any easier, but you still push forward. You're still doing the things you need to do to make sure that life goes on and we continue.
I think when it's a hard day for me today, guys, it's an anniversary of something that knocks me every year. I think it's a case of you put on that face so that everybody thinks you're okay. Whereas deep down, you could go to the pub, drink 10 pints and fall over and not care. It's one of them type of days.
And you don't even drink.
No, I don't. That's the thing.
But imagine how many people go through that and almost feeling like this is becoming the norm, dealing with the burnout, dealing with the pain of events that you can't change.
No. And the pain don't get easier. I think we get better at coping with things.
That's it. You learn how to cope with it. You also learn how to put on that face so that other people are able to keep pushing forward, because our children, our grandchildren, they all learn from us. And now they do. Nowadays, some of the biggest problems are that our youth are suffering so much from anxieties and depressions.
Yeah.
And they struggle so much because they never learned how to deal with it, how to talk about it, how to address their feelings. And one of the things that Hazel just said was, you put on that face so that you go forward.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm really, really lucky because my one son is on holidays. He was phoning me first thing this morning. Mum, are you okay? I'm just checking in. And then my other son was like, Mum, do you need anything? So what I'm trying to say is, guys, once you've told people around you that you're having a really bad day, that's where they ask and they help you, sort of thing. And that's why it's important to talk as well.
You're absolutely right. The more you talk about it, the more other people join in the conversation, and you start to feel like you have these memories, beautiful memories of the thing that was causing you to hold back, and it helps.
Yeah, definitely. And yes, I sometimes feel on my own with this situation because I've got everything going on in my mind. I got certain regrets. I blame myself. There's lots of other emotions that we have to deal with at the same time. And that's the hard thing.
And we put on the face because we don't want.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We have to think about ourselves. But talking is the main issue. You need to talk so that others around you know why you're snapping at them, or why you don't want to answer the phone, or why you don't want to talk, about the issue rather than the problem, because the problem and issue are two different things.
That's true. And people always fear that if they let their emotions out and they talk about things that have affected them, they won't look like they're successful or confident. And they try to hide that from the outside. That kills the inside emotions. locking things away.
Yes, definitely.
And what it will lead to is you feeling internally exhausted.
Yeah.
The emotions, it's like what Hazel said, when you blow up at somebody over something that had nothing to do with what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
It's just coming out of nowhere, and it makes people feel like they're not or you're not a stable person when you're dealing with something that's really important to you. But because you don't talk about it, you hold it inside, it does become an issue. I think the best thing that Hazel could have done was to say, hey, I was having a really hard week. I always suffer with this. And it got some of that emotions out into the open.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that it still doesn't hurt that you've lost someone that you love dearly, but you got to talk about them.
That's the thing, like, it's a very close family member, and me and the boys talk all the time, because of course we've got the grandbaby now, and we talk about how she'd react to him, and so it's about keeping things alive as well.
There you go. I often think that by not talking about the loved ones who've passed on, you aren't keeping their memory alive. You're not passing their memory forward.
Yeah.
Both of my parents died before my children were born. And I came across a video. My father had actually passed away 10 years before my first son was born. And so I came across a video of him. There were no words in this video, but he was being his true self, dancing and laughing. And you could feel the emotions. My kids didn't have to say to me, was he a happy person? What was he like? By just looking at a wordless video, they got a good sense of what my dad was like.
Yeah. And I think it's important for the grandchildren to see that side as well.
Absolutely. The funny part about it is that later on, I was talking with some of my uncles, and we were all sitting there the kids were asking questions of our uncles. And my uncle started talking about my dad and how he liked fast cars and he wasn't a great driver. And my son walked away saying to me, wow, now I know where I get it from.
And that's the thing. Not just that, I bet the boys had seen their dad when they were little, because he would have come and visited them, your dad, sorry, to let them know that he's still there with them. And I think that's an important thing to remember as well.
Well, that was absolutely the case with my oldest son. My oldest son used to describe my father to a T, and he would say he came in to tuck me in last night. My son was 3 years old, and my father had been dead going on over 10 years. And so he hadn't even seen a picture of him at that point. And he was telling me that he smokes this thing, it's fat, and it really stinks. And I don't like him to bring it. And and I laughed because my father only smoked cigars. And his father only smoked cigarettes. So he did not have a clue as to what the cigar was. But the fact that he could smell it and describe it was just hilarious. And even today, my son is in his 30s, and he will tell me about times where he has felt that his grandfather has come to visit him.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Children at a young age are so susceptible to spirit. And
Absolutely.
this is coming from my own experiences, and I think Mia will agree. Children don't have imaginary friends. They have spirit guides that come and sit with them.
Absolutely. And it's the parents who characterize them as their imaginary friends. And they have such a great imagination. Well, in all honesty, I didn't have imaginary friends when I was younger. I got them when I was older, much older. I could hear them very clearly. And they gave me some of the best guidance. And I will say that when my loved ones did pass on, many of them came back to let me know that everything was okay, that they were fine, and that we were going to be fine.
And that's the thing, that's how you learned about your spirit guide.
Yes. But that's also something that we can use now with feeling so burned out with all of the situations that are going on in our lives. And especially if we are so wrapped up in our work, putting forth our best foot, always making sure that we are doing 180% on our jobs, because nobody knows who's going to be next. That causes you tremendous stress and burnout. All of this is literally just weighing on our shoulders, and your guides are trying to tell you it's going to be okay. It's going to, I mean, we know it feels like a tremendous load right now, but keep moving forward. Keep taking one step at a time. A lot of us use things like caffeine and alcohol and worse.
And that's the thing. We all, how can I put this? We all got to put everything as we want it. Because for myself, I knew when I got out of bed this morning, it's going to be a bad day. But I turned my morning routine around. I sorted the animals first, and then had a coffee, and then had a shower, because I needed to change the routine so that my brain was focused on doing something else, so that I would know. It's about not spiraling.
You know, that's one of the biggest.
And that's what I have to make sure what I wouldn't do.
Well, that's one of the biggest misconceptions I think we have, because we think people with burnout and who are overstressed, they like to stay in bed and they're not able to function. I think that those are the people who have so much burnt or pent up energy that they can't stay in bed.
And that's, today it was about me doing something a different way so that I could still have my sadness, my tears, my thoughts of yearning for the person and needing a hug. But it was also about me showing that I can still go and do my normal day things. Even though inside it was killing me, but it's where as an adult we learn to do that so that we can be stronger for our children that are coming behind us.
And I think that Hazel has given everybody a homework assignment. Right now, if everybody could just reach out and give Hazel a virtual hug, that would be such a productive thing for you to do, because that virtual hug would mean so much to Hazel, but it's going to mean a lot to you as well. You know, a lot of these people keep trudging forward, keep sloughing through the mud. They're still producing and they're still achieving.
I'll share with you now, the whole time we've been on this podcast, I've had this clothes peg in my pocket. And I've just been doing that to stay focused, because I know that I needed something else to take my mind off things, as strange as that sounds.
No, I think that you've set yourself up to achieve.
Yeah.
To find something to get you past it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is not something that just happened yesterday or a month ago or anything like that. And you've achieved the goal of getting through it, pushing through, and keep going forward and turning your focus on to things that you can do about your emotional health.
Yeah. Rather than what I can't do, because guys, this will go for everybody. If you start spiraling, you won't stop until you've hit the bottom.
There you go.
So it's about trying to put things in place so that you don't get that far.
Yes.
And that's what I've done today, because I knew I did it.
Well, recognizing that you are masking your pain is a good thing as well. Okay. A lot of people don't know how to override exhaustion. And a lot of time that's where your bad bosses come from, because they don't know how to deal with their emotional pain. And so it's all about picking apart things that don't need to be picked apart, finding solutions for problems that aren't there. And that's also part of the burnout.
And guys, it's okay. And it's okay to feel angry, guys. It's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to ask yourself, well, why did it happen? You know, because that's all part of the process as well. Because if you wasn't angry, you wouldn't be able to go through the emotion.
That's true. It's almost like walking through a dark tunnel to get to the light. But not handling the burnout and the emotions causes your nervous system to scream. And sometimes those screams come out physically in a direction where you don't necessarily mean for it to go. And the worst thing that can happen is that it becomes a reflexive reaction. And you pass it on to your children, because you get so frustrated at something that's happened that has nothing to do with the children, and the children want to give you a hug when you get home from work, and you haven't been able to let that emotion out all day. You've covered it up for the people that you believe are watching you with a fine-tooth comb. And then when you're home with the children, it comes out. The children then learn either to internalize that, and it becomes a vicious cycle. There's
like
I was
pegging washing out earlier.
Okay.
And I just burst into tears, but I knew they were coming at some point. So I just left them rolled on my face as I carried on pegging out the washing. Because if you stop the tears from falling, that's going to build up even more anxiety inside yourself.
And even the best,
it's good to cry.
The best psychiatrists will tell you that crying is the most positive thing that you can do, because you're getting rid of the negative emotions. The negative emotions have to come out some way, and you prefer it to be in a tear than in a physical action.
Yeah.
And if
definitely.
You could say to yourself, every tear is releasing my negative emotions, releasing my sadness, then let it go. And I will tell you, hey, you can even set a timeline for yourself, because you don't want to be going on for months crying about something.
No.
But give yourself an hour to just have a good cry.
Yeah.
And wish that you could change something, and then talk about those feelings, and see how many of those feelings you still have after you've released the negative tears.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You might feel alone, but you're not alone. And that's the one thing to remember as well.
That's absolutely true. I mean, because so many things are going on in this world today that you can have 1,000,001 reasons to be burned out, and you will believe that you are the only one that's having those feelings. Even those people who think, people from the opposite team are the ones who caused this problem, and the people from the opposite team are saying, why is everybody looking at me like I caused this problem? I didn't know this, I didn't know that. It's a learning lesson for everybody. Okay, you didn't know certain things, and so that should push you to want to never make a mistake like that again, whatever the mistake was, because it happens for you to learn a lesson from it. It doesn't have to be a permanent scar. And you can find other people who are probably feeling the exact same way that you are. Don't build upon that scar. Because building on the scars makes it harder for the underlying issue to get through. So
I agree with that 100%.
You know, I constantly hear people talking about how they feel tired, but they can't rest. They can't lay down and actually rest. They're working so hard to stay focused, or to keep their focus off of certain things around them, that they become emotionally numb. And then you're just a walking mannequin. The mannequins don't even get paid to wear the clothes. So there's no benefits in that at all, not for you and not for those around you. There has to be a way.
I agree with that.
Okay. There has to be a way for you to let out, get that exhaustion, that tiredness off of your chest, off of your shoulders, with it being a productive event for you. Just
and that's the important thing to remember.
Because literally these things can be emotionally expensive. It can literally cause you to abort relationships with people you love. And
and I suppose,
go ahead.
I suppose that's where I'm lucky, because the close people around me know what day it is. They know how I cope with it, how I don't cope with it, how my friends are everywhere, how the boys just go and look at me funny and I'm screaming and ripping their heads off. But they know why. And they'll just say, go and have a cup of coffee and calm down. Touch wood, that haven't been the case today, because they've both kept out of my way. One of them is on holidays. But when you look at things in that way, them knowing how I'm feeling and what I'm feeling makes their life easier. because they know, okay, mum is not coping today, so we'll stay out the way, sort of thing.
But also, they're showing you respect for your feelings.
Yeah.
By staying out of the way, or by calling you to say, hey, are you okay today? And giving you that respect, that love, to give you the space that you need. It's great that you have family members who know that this is important for you. And then they're always there when your free space time is over. They're there to fill that space up again. And that's an absolutely wonderful thing.
That's so true.
And having people in your inner circle who can step in to respect your space, but also to fill your space up after you've gone through the things that you need to go through.
Yeah.
It is always difficult. It's never an easy thing to handle deep emotions with your loved ones. And so literally taking that time to cry, to get your emotions out as you need it, and then filling your space up with people who will help you move forward is the best thing that you can do. It happens to all of us. And even when you are dealing with someone who has put up a block, they don't want you to know their pain. Give them that space. And the more we understand that and allow people to go through this burnout and to start to rebuild relationships emotionally, physically, all of these things are going to make us a better civilization. But it's going to take a lot of work. And with the situations that we're going through today, it's not easy for anyone. A lot of people hide the things that they're feeling because they don't feel safe in the environment they're in. All of that's understandable. And that's why it's important that you find your environment, you find your community. You want those people who are going to help build you back up. And even if it's in a bad relationship, you're going through the breakup of a bad relationship, and it causes everybody a lot of pain. It will not make it easier on you to do tit for tat. Recognizing that I have to let that person be who they are, and I have to be who I am. When it's all said and done, I can still be happy with who I am. And I am getting
a message. What's important.
That's what's extremely important. I'm getting a message that we have a low internet. And it comes at a time where we're almost at the end of our show anyhow. So I want people to focus on what is emotionally burning you out, what masks you are putting in place to cover your burnout, to hide your emotional vulnerabilities, and talk with someone. You can come and talk with us here at Exquisite. We are here to help you understand how you can survive this situation. What's going to help you best of all? Whether you're going through a bad breakup, whether you've lost a job, whether you've lost a loved one. everybody needs their space, their time, and to find a way to handle these situations. Hold on to that clothespin. Okay. And give it a good squeeze. If it makes you feel like a hug from a loved one, that's wonderful. So we would love to hear from you. I do want to encourage everybody to send a hug to Hazel, and that will literally revert back to you, because that warmth that you give out always comes back tenfold.
Yeah, so definitely.
Take a moment and like and subscribe to this video. Leave us a comment. Ask us a question. We'd love to hear from you. And until next week, happy Mother's Day this weekend to all of the moms out there. And some of the dads who have stepped in to be moms. Happy Mother's Day.
Definitely.
Have a wonderful week. Yes. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. And it was a pleasure to be here.
Bye.